What's up, guys? It's Matt here with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. It is currently 1:04 p.m. Tuesday afternoon, January the 20th, 2026, year of our Lord. And it's shaping up to be a pretty day, man. I don't know how cold it is outside. Ain't no wind blowing. It's not that bad out there. I'm done for the day. I've been home probably about an hour and a half. Had 4 maintenance properties to do. One of them, all I did was throw sticks out of it, and the other 2, or the other 3, all I did was put lines on them. You know what I mean? Stripes, lines, whatever you want to call them. We don't stripe nothing down here. But anyway, man, did that and went and did a sod quote. Like I told y'all in the last video, man, I'm not sure about this guy that I'm doing this sod quote for. I put it together, and but something's just kind of off about it. It was an email, you know. I kind of feel like it's a scammer. And when I went over there to measure the property, I did ask the lady next door if the people's name that lived there or the people that actually owned the property was named such and such. You know, I'm not gonna put the name out there, but if it was the same name as the people that was on the email. And she said, no, it is not. And I said, okay. And I told her what was going on. You know, I said, I just kind of feel like something feels kind of off about it. And I don't know if it's a scammer or not. And I just want to be careful. And it is hard. Guys, it's hard. It's hard to decipher whether or not somebody's a scammer nowadays, man. A lot of them are on point with whatever they're doing, man. They're good at it. But anyways, guys, I went ahead and measured the property and put the quote together. You know, it's only going to be 2.5 pallets of Empire Zoysia. And between me, you know, between the sod delivered and installed and the equipment needed to do the job that I'm going to have to rent, it's almost $4,000. And it sounds like a lot, guys, but there's a lot that goes into it when you're trying to do sod the correct way. You know, I'm renting a sod cutter, a skid steer, and a dump trailer and everything. That's the 3 main things that I'm gonna have to have, and then the materials as well. You know, it's 2.5 pallets of Empire Zoysia, which Empire Zoysia, it's more expensive than at least in my area. I don't know if it's like this nationwide or not, but in my area, Empire Zoysia cost a lot more than Bermuda or Centipede or St. Augustine. You know, of course, your Zeon Zoysia in my area is going to be your most expensive grass, turf grass, but Empire Zoysia is right behind it. I don't know what it is about Zoysia, man, but that stuff is expensive. But anyway, it's going to be $3,960 to you know, for everything. That's the estimate, and I did let the customer know that estimate could go up or down $500 either way. And I said it just depends on what we run into. You never know what you're going to run into, so always go over that with your customers. Don't give them a hard quote when you're doing installs or tear outs or anything like that, because you never know what you're going to run into. There's a lot of things under the ground that you just can't see. But that was a Facebook notification. But anyways, guys, went ahead and put that one together and notified emailed the customer. I'll probably hear from them again in the morning. You know, evidently they only answer their emails in the morning. And it's like I told my wife, you know, I don't know if there's more ways than one to actually get people. But I look at it like this, you know, the way it works. I told him, you know, it is, I can do it. And I could give you a quote for it, and it can get done as long as you're willing to pay half of the invoice up front to cover materials. And they told me they were 100% fine with that, and that's when he told me that his wife prefers Zoysia, which is crazy to me. I would, you know, I really don't, unless it's just because they want Zoysia, not Bermuda, because the Bermuda that's in the lawn, it's very, very healthy Bermuda. And but like I said, it's a very small area. It's 2.5 pallets. It's a townhome type deal. And it's their entire front yard. But my thought process is it's going to be hard for them to get me. You know, I know in the past I've had people try to get me with offering to pay for an entire year's worth of service up front, and that they would send me a check. And I declined that offer. I'm not dealing with checks, especially with people I don't know. I'm not gonna deposit a check in my bank if it's somebody that I don't know. But also, man, you know, if I send someone an invoice, of course my name and address is on the invoice. But my issue with that is, man, your address is everywhere. Anybody can get your address from anything, and that's how you get all kinds of bullcrap in your mailbox all the time. So I'm not really worried about that. But it's like I told my wife, you know, as long as they pay that, you know, use a credit card and pay that up front, I will absolutely be willing to do it for them, you know. But if they're not going to pay it up front, then I won't do it. Simply put. And but anyway, just got done messaging back and forth with another client that I have. They're you know, y'all have actually seen me work this property before. This is a pretty bad property. It's, you know, it's flat. It's nice and flat like you like. But they the man doesn't really care about his property. I say doesn't really care about it. As long as the grass is cut and the bushes are cut, that's all he's worried about. And leaves are gone and everything. But I don't know if he got a ticket or got a fine for you know, having bare spots in his yard or whatever it may be. But he did text me and ask me about if I could do weed killer or if I could do sod or seed. And I told him, I'm sorry guys, this blue tick over here is raising hell. She wants to get up here with me. But I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. But anyway, I told him, you know, I can do, you know, as far as weed killer goes, the best I can do on that, because for one, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to weed and feed, you know, or I'm sorry, weed control and fertilizer, and also I'm not licensed to do it. So the best I could do on that is your typical homeowner grade that you would buy at Home Depot or Lowe's or Amazon, weed and feed, something like that. Or I could do a pre-emergent application, but that's about the best I can do, because I just simply don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that. And but as far as seeding a property or putting sod on a property, I could definitely do that. And I told him, I said, you know, I can give you a price for both. I said, but my recommendation is to do sod for several reasons. For one, you get instant gratification when you're doing sod. That's the obvious reason. For two, when it comes to overseeding Bermuda, for one, you're not guaranteed germination. You know, you can get a bad batch of seeds. I've seen it done. I've never had it happen to me before, but I know people that have had it happen. And it's like that with any kind of seed. You know, we had this problem here 2 years ago, I think it was, with winter rye. Evidently, everybody in the area got their winter rye seeds from the same supplier, but none of it germinated. And or I say none of it germinated. A lot of it didn't. And you just had spots all over the place where people was broadcasting winter rye. But you know, you're dealing with that. And also, you know, when it comes to sod, you really only have to water it vigorously until it's rooted. You know, it doesn't take long for it to root. About 2 weeks and it's good and rooted, and it's actually ready to be mowed. But everything else, you know, like with seeds, you're risking the rain washing it out unless you unless you do a top dressing or something like that. And in my area, you can't really do hay because hay is bad for the Bermuda. And but also you're risking birds eating the seeds as well, so it'll be patchy and spotty. But that's not as big of a deal because Bermuda is a running type turf, so if some of it does germinate, eventually it would fill in. But I told him, I said, you know, my recommendation honestly is to just to save you some money. I said, it's up to you. We'll do whatever you want to do. It's your money, you're the client, it's your property. I said, but my recommendation to him was to have it, I could aerate it this summer, and I can adjust all of his sprinkler heads, and we can get them things right to where they're, where they need to be. That way he can water his lawn and let that Bermuda do its thing, and also hire a weed and fertilizer company. But now, yes, it would be less money for me, but it would be good for the customer, and I would still make a profit doing that. Just not nowhere near as much as I would if I was to seed it or do sod. But I told him, just let me know which one you decide to do, and I'll go ahead and get the measurements and everything, and I can send you a quote for both. I said, but just know, depending on what type of sod what type of grass type you're wanting, it is all different prices. I said, my recommendation is Bermuda, either Tiff Tuff Bermuda or Celebration Bermuda, because that's the alpha grass in my area. We're predominantly Bermuda grass in my area, and if your neighbor's got Bermuda and you don't, their grass is going to creep into yours and wind up choking it out. So that's another thing for you guys to think about too. And any of you homeowners out there that might see this, man, if you're thinking about redoing your yard, man, and your neighbors have Bermuda, you might want to consider going with Bermuda too, because that stuff will creep up in there and it will infiltrate your yard, and it will choke your turf out if you have something different. But yeah, I'm gonna let him know, or he's gonna think about it and let me know. And he actually told me to let him think about it before I put the quote together. That way I'm not wasting my time on two different things, and he would let me know what he decides to do. But yeah, man, like I said, things are looking up. There's two more possible. One definite lead today. I don't know if I'm gonna get that job or not. That like I said, $4,000. That's expensive for 2.5 pallets of sod. And one that is another possible lead. We'll see what happens, what he tells me. But anyways, guys, like I said, told y'all about the incident this morning with the equipment company. Somebody commented on that video and told me about the Chinese mini skid. And guys, I'm gonna tell you something about the Chinese mini skid, man. I am not against it at all. Okay, I don't want you guys to think that I'm American made only, or that I have an issue with Chinese stuff. I have zero issues with any of it, man. I am a union man, yes, but I'm not the same. At the same time, I'm not a guy that's 100% buying foreign products. There's a lot of stuff that's made in China that is trash, and there's a lot of stuff that is made in China that is really good products. So I'm not that guy, and I have been looking into the Chinese equipment. I have. Matter of fact, my brother-in-law has a mini excavator. I can't remember the doggone name brand of it, but it's got a Kubota engine on it. But it's a Chinese mini X, and it's a really good machine. He likes it. My father-in-law likes it, and I have access to it whenever I get ready for it. But my only issue with the Chinese mini skids and all that good stuff is, and I really didn't think about this until watching Ray's videos with his Chinese mulcher and all that. I need to see some more research, and I need this stuff to be out a little bit longer before I decide that I want to pull the trigger on something like that, just because of the simple fact of I don't know if the parts and everything are readily available. Just say some fittings or something like that goes out. Some of those fittings are expensive as hell, and some of your gearboxes, just different things. You never know what could happen on one of those machines, and they are man-made. Anything man-made will break. It's not a fact of if it breaks. It's a fact of when it breaks, what position are you going to be in? Are you going to be in a good position to continue winning in life, or are you just going to have to let your machine sit there and sit idle for 6 months while you're waiting on parts to come from God knows where? But like I said, that's my only concern. And I know I've seen a lot of videos saying a lot of these guys love their machines, and hey, look, I get it, I do, and I'm all about. I think this guy that commented. I think he told me that he paid 58 or something like that for it was 5,000. It was somewhere between 5 and 6 grand for a brand new Chinese mini skid delivered to his front door. That's a hell of a price, man. That is, yeah, that's a price that will grab your attention right there. And I mean, considering the fact that you go and buy a brand new Kubota or Bobcat, you're looking at $41,000, $42,000, $43,000. Now, if I'm going to save myself 30 to 40 grand, absolutely I'm going to go out there and buy me a Chinese mini skid. But at the same time, I have to be able to find these parts. That is literally my only concern. Do I have a concern that these machines will be able to get the job done? There's no concern there. They've been proven on some of these YouTube videos and websites and everything. They've proven themselves. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the parts. When this machine tears up, how am I going to get it fixed? Am I going to have to send it off? Or can I do it myself in a decent amount of time? Because I don't want it to be a situation where I have 5 or 6 jobs lined up and, a whole month's worth of work lined up, and then all of a sudden a pump go out and I got to wait for a pump to come in from Vietnam somewhere. Especially with all these Trump tariffs and everything that's going on right now. That would be that could be detrimental to your business. And at that point, hopefully you have enough saved up to where you can go out and buy a different machine. That way you have one on backup. But like I said, guys, I'm definitely not against it. I'm definitely not against it at all. I just have my concerns like any other normal person would with anything. But so if any of you have any advice or information for me on that, as far as being able to access parts for repairs and replacement, let me know, man. But yeah, man, like I said, the Lord is blessing me. He really is. He's blessing me with leads, and I cannot complain at all whatsoever. I cannot. I mean, I can complain about other things. I can complain about it being cold. I can complain about equipment not being available, and I can also kick myself in the tail for not having a whole bunch of equipment right now. I should have a dump trailer. I should have a mini skid. I should have a bigger landscaping trailer, but my bad. I'm doing better, guys. I really am. I realize now I've learned my lesson the hard way when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so please, guys, don't pour salt in the wound. I know I screwed up. I did, but I've learned from it. I'm trying to fix it, and I'm better because of it. I'm one of those guys that have to learn the hard way, and I'm better because of it, man. But hey, look, y'all be blessed out there. Hope y'all are having a great day. I really do. Like I said, be blessed out there. And till the next video, man, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. Holla at y'all. Bye.